Hare Krishna Mataji's. Anybody would like to
Hare
lead
Krishna.
Kirtan? Okay, just okay, sorry Mataji. The other side, the girls are having another Zoom. Okay, Hare Krishna, welcome everybody. Okay, so we are here in chapter 10 today. Okay, this is our Gauranitai from ISKCON Vrindavan. Okay, next. Krishna Balaram from ISKCON Vrindavan. Shri Radha Shamasundar, ISKCON Vrindavan. Okay, so anybody would like to volunteer for the kirtan or it's going to be me? Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my most humble obeisance to my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blinded by ignorance with the light of knowledge. So you can unmute and sing together. Follow after me. Nama
Om Vishnu Padaya
Krishna
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta
Swami Iti Namine Nama
Nama
Vishnu
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Namaste Saraswati
Deve
Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Satari
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Haribo. Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so we offer our obeisance. We have offered our obeisance to teachers. Now we offer obeisance to our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, as usual, the understanding of Gita. Just what is the Bhagavad Gita? The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from the nescience of material existence. Every man is in difficulty in so many ways. Okay, everybody is in difficulty in one way or other. As Arjuna also was in difficulty in having to fight the battle of Kurukshetra. So that was Arjuna's difficulty. So what Arjuna did? Arjuna surrendered unto Sri Krishna, and consequently this Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Not only Arjuna, but every one of us is full of anxieties because of this material existence. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. Actually, we are not meant to be threatened by non-existence. Our existence is eternal. We are spirit soul. But somehow or other, we are put into asat. Asat refers to that which does not exist. Okay, so basically the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver mankind from nescience of material existence. Okay, so we are at chapter 10. Okay, in chapter 9, Krishna given us, what is the topic of chapter 9? Anybody, Matajis? The title for chapter 9? The clue is already given here.
Most confidential knowledge.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Correct. Okay, most confidential knowledge. So in that, Krishna has given us a most confidential instruction. It was towards the end. If anybody has Bhagavad Gita in your hand, can you tell me what would be the sloka? The last. Okay, I won't say which sloka is that. I want to know what is the instruction of Krishna gave in chapter 9, ultimately. Anybody, Matajis? Anybody
Engage
has
your
Bhagavad
mind, always
Uh-huh.
thinking of me, become my
Yes.
devotee, offer obeisances to me, worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me.
Yes, correct, Mataji. Thank you. Yes, so this sloka, man mana bhava mad bhakto. So that is the most confidential instructions. So Krishna listed out, use your mind to think of him, use your body to perform devotional activities. Worship me, right? The mind is to be thinking of me. And then become my devotee. I mean, doing this, you become my devotee. So the conclusion of chapter 9 is that one should become a pure devotee of the Lord, receiving all the knowledge from 1 to 9. At the end, we are becoming devotee of the Lord. Now, what happens in chapter 10? In chapter 10, Krishna continues to reveal the confidential essence of that knowledge. Okay, why? Because Krishna wants to talk about his opulence to increase our devotion. Okay, by hearing more about Krishna's opulence, it will increase our devotion. Okay, so these are generally our category today. Okay, the first about importance. Okay, Mataji. Kajan Mati, I made you co-host already, yeah? Okay, so the first is to understand Krishna's unknowability, means things that are not known to us. Okay, we are going to use that, utilize that knowledge to serve him. And then this one, if you remember, Chatuh Shloki, I used to call this crash course. Already we were going through crash course for 18 days. And then inside that, Krishna has given us this essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita here. Okay, Chatuh Shloki. And then this is very interesting part of this chapter. Krishna will list down, this is where Arjuna will ask Krishna to list down his opulences. Okay, please tell me more about you, like that. And later Krishna will, until the end, Krishna will start talking about his opulences. Okay, his power, his strength, his positions, everything. So this is very interesting. So this round I will go into, last round I did not go one by one. Okay, so this round I try to put in some explanation to each of the opulences. All right, provided that we go through the revision slokas very fast. All right, 10.1. Shobha Mataji. I'm not sure if Mataji is here. Mataji, would you like to recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Okay, Mataji.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Bhuva Eva Mahabaho Shrunomi Paramam Vachaha Yatteham Priyamanaya Bhakshyami Hi Takamyaya.
Translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained."
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So earlier in chapter 9, Krishna told Arjuna, I'm giving you this knowledge because you're a dear friend to me, you are non-envious, right? So these are the qualifications. We are here listening to Krishna, knowledge from Krishna because we are not envious of the Lord. So now Krishna is telling, I'm going to give you something, knowledge better than what I have said in the past, previously. Okay, so this knowledge is confidential because it is not revealed to everyone. What is the qualification? Those who are non-envious. So there's another reason why he is not giving to everyone, because he wants people to be friendly towards Krishna. So both non-envious and being a dear friend to Krishna. Okay, so this part here, listen again. Like a teacher, Krishna is telling, listen again. Means he has explained something in the past, but he wants us to listen again. Because due to our forgetfulness, we sometimes it could be forgetfulness, or sometimes we are not able to understand something immediately. So the only solution is to hear again and again. So that's why Krishna is saying, listen again. All right, so Arjuna is already having intimate relationship with Krishna as a dear friend. So Krishna is going to give knowledge better than what he has already explained in the past. So chapter 9 was most confidential knowledge. In chapter 10, a different kind of knowledge. Okay, better version. So it will be helpful for everyone. Okay, moving on. This opening is what we should have in our mind when we start chapter 10. Okay, chapter 10 describes the Lord's opulence, on which why we want to know about Lord's opulence, so that devotees can fix his mind. And by thinking of this opulence, seeing Krishna in such opulences, we can remember him. How? Whenever we see something opulent, something powerful, and something beautiful in this world. So whenever we see all these great things, we remember Krishna. So generally, Krishna is going to describe his opulence, he's going to describe his potencies, and he's going to describe his position. Okay, why? Actually, I given this answer earlier slide. Can somebody tell me why Krishna is giving us the list of his opulences to us in chapter 10? To what? Did anybody notice the red bar I put there in the previous slide? Is big and red. Did anybody notice? To increase what, Mataji?
Faith.
Okay, faith. What else?
Love.
Love. What else? It starts with D.
Devotion.
Yes, devotion. Thank you, Mataji. Yes. Okay, to increase. So why? Why? Yeah, why? Okay, I think earlier I did not put it in the slide, but I explained. So now I'm showing you to increase Arjuna's or our devotion. So what's the connection between knowing Krishna's opulence and fixing our mind about Krishna? And how are we supposed to view these opulence, potencies, position in relationship to Krishna? How is it exactly tied to our increase of devotion? So the next question is how? What is the connection? So here I would like to tell you a story of us having friendship with a billionaire friend. So imagine you are befriending or you have an intimate relationship with a very rich person, and then you got to know that he's a billionaire. So he's got this wealth and power. So he's powerful. It's so powerful that when he snaps finger, people line up eagerly to serve him. Okay, tell me boss, tell me sir, tell me sir. And then we realize, wow, what a wonderful friend we have. So by seeing this, by experiencing, by witnessing his the level of his opulence, our understanding of his wealth and power naturally will enhance our appreciation of him. Oh, okay, he's not an ordinary person. He's somebody, somebody is powerful, wealthy. And then next, what we feel fortunate to be a friend of him, a friend of someone so great. So when you get to know this person, you have that gratitude. You feel grateful that you're having the good fortune of being a friend of this person, and that person is being your friend. So similarly, so how we tie this to Krishna? When we learn this opulence about Krishna, we have appreciation towards Krishna. We enhance appreciation of the relationship. Okay, and then we have this feeling of being fortunate, of being Krishna's devotee, Krishna's servant. Okay, and then next is increasing gratitude for receiving that fortune, the fortunate situation, and we are able to reciprocate with such great personality. Okay, next 10.2. Tamare Mataji.
Uh, 10.2 Nami Vidu Suraganaya Prabhamam Harshaya Aham Hadir Devana Mahar Sinma Char Shavasha. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my original opulence, for in every respect I am the source of demigods and sages.
All right, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here Krishna is declaring that he is the source of all, he is the cause of all causes. Okay, my origin. And then he's saying, no one knows my original opulences. Okay, so how do we know where our mom was born, our father was born? So until they speak, we wouldn't know, right? So that's why Krishna wants to establish that there are only two ways that one can know about me. Okay, which is to hear from devotees who knows Krishna, or to hear directly from Krishna. So these two ways. Okay, why Krishna is saying, giving this comparison, demigods nor the great sages. So we know demigods are powerful beings, some position that living beings who have performed very, very good life, very austere life, they will get these positions. Okay, so when they go to the heavenly planets, the Devas planets, all they have there is enjoyments. They do not have miseries. Okay, remember there is birth and death, but it is said that in heavenly planet there are no miseries. Okay, if you remember the Soma juice, right? So enjoyments. So some people may say that demigods cannot understand Krishna because they are attached to the sense enjoyments, the gratification, sense gratifications. But here Krishna is giving this example, great sages. Well, we know great sages are naturally, they have taken up the certain path because they want to be renounced, they want to be detached from sense enjoyments. So which means those who are attached to enjoyments and those who are not attached to enjoyment, both of them might not know my origin or opulences. So that is not the qualification. You're attached or detached. That is not the qualification. The qualification is to hear from devotees or to hear from Krishna. Okay, that's where it is mentioned here. Who should give knowledge of source of everything? Who is qualified to give the knowledge about somebody who is the origin of everything, who is the source of everything? Okay, so that is what Krishna is establishing here. Krishna is our source and we must hear from him to know about him. Otherwise, it's difficult to understand. Okay. Okay. Okay, Mataji. Okay, so we move on to 10.7. Why, Mataji?
Hello, Mataji.
Hare
Can you hear me?
Krishna.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
clear,
Can you hear
Mataji.
me? Okay. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 7. Itam bubitim yogam cha mama yoveti tatvataha so vikambena yogena yokyate natra sanshayaha. Translation: one who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Krishna is saying here, what happens to those who wants to get to know about Krishna? One who is factually convinced of this opulence. Okay, one is convinced of his opulence and the mystic power of him. So this is two things they are learning about him, about his opulence and his mystic power. What happens to them? They engage in unalloyed devotion service. Okay, you all know what does it mean by unalloyed? Alloyed means pure. Sorry, alloyed means mixed, right? Unalloyed means not contaminated with any kind of desires. All right. So unalloyed, pure devotional service. Of this, there is no doubt. So once they get to know about Krishna, they engage in unalloyed devotional service. Right, we will say God is great. God is great. But how many of us can tell how great is God? So this is what Krishna is answering in this chapter. How great am I? How great is this source of everything? Okay, so what people do after knowing this? What happens if we accept knowledge? After we accept this knowledge of the Lord's opulence, back to this verse. This is the objective of this chapter. They engage in unalloyed devotional service. Okay. All right, so we move on. Okay, all right, this is a little story here. So one day, this is to show how opulent Krishna is in a very simple story. So one day, Krishna and his associates, so you can see here Narada Muni is here, Srutadeva Goswami is here. So I think this Vyasadeva and so many associates. They were walking in Mithila. Okay, so at one point of time, okay, yeah, you see Narada, Vyasadeva, Parasuram, Asita, Sukadeva, Brihaspati. So they were walking in Mithila. Suddenly they were requested by two people. One is a poor Brahmana called Srutadeva, and another one, King Bahulasva. All right, so they approached the Lord and said, Lord, please come over to our house. We would like to serve you. So the Lord knows these these two personalities, these two devotees are great devotee persons, are great devotees. So he could not say yes to one and no to another. So what he did, he actually divided himself or expanded himself both sides. So one entourage went to King Bahulasva, one entourage went to Brahmana Srutadeva. So on one side, the king was serving the Lord with so much of opulent food and nice, comfortable hospitality. But here, the Brahmana was all he had was hut, and he was giving some rice and some simple sabjis. But both Krishna is displaying his opulence by dividing him into two for both of them, and both of them, they don't know that there is also Krishna on the other side. Bahulasva doesn't know that Krishna has gone to Srutadeva. Srutadeva doesn't know Krishna has gone to Bahulasva. So like that. So this is a simple story to display, to show an example how Krishna has the opulence of dividing himself, expanding himself to different forms. So this is another example other than how Krishna expanded himself to cows and gopas when Lord Brahma kidnapped the friends. Okay, because remember that last class I mentioned that the small story. Okay. Yes, you can remember the story of Vidura, you remember the story of Sabari, right? Krishna will divide, he will give himself. Okay. All right. Of course, if you remember another story I talked about Narada Muni went to see Krishna, what actually Krishna does. And then he saw in 16,100 palaces, Krishna appeared in all those palaces at the same time doing different activities. So the comparison was made during recent time, like maybe 2 decades ago. They found one yogi who was able to appear in 8 different places but doing the same activity. If he's eating in one place, then all the other 8 places also he'll be eating. So Krishna is so much different from these yogis, right? Krishna can be appearing in so many places and doing different activities. So he's opulent in that way also. All right. All right. We go on to the Chatuh Shloki. Amita Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 10.8 Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samantaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service, and worship me with all their hearts.
Right. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. So we know in the beginning of creation, Krishna given the knowledge to Brahma. Okay. Krishna. We can say Krishna is the primary creator, or Brahma is the secondary creator. Okay. And then so you can see that Lord Brahma comes from Krishna. All right, that's why Krishna is saying here, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So again, if you remember the class we had on 6 categories of avatar, how Krishna expanded to 3 Purusha avatars in order to create the universe, the creation. Okay, so we will go to that now. Okay, this is first Purusha. Okay, Krishna takes the form of Karanada Kasai Vishnu lying down in causal ocean. So if you remember, from the paws of Karanada Kasai Vishnu, unlimited universes come. Okay, can recall, Mataji? You remember the egg shape? So many universes with different sizes. Okay, different universes have different numbered heads of Brahma. Okay, bigger, it based on the size. Okay, smaller universe has less number of heads. Okay, our universe has Brahma with 4 heads. Okay, so this is number 1, Karanada Kasai Vishnu. Okay, so next, what happened? From each paw, if you see all these little balls here, these are universes, right? And then what happens is Krishna Number 2, Krishna enters these universes, these eggs. All right. He enters and he lies down in the ocean called Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Okay, how the water came, that also came from his body, perspiration. So that is called Garbhodaka ocean. So as he lies down there in the beginning of the creation, if you can see, this is the stem of the lotus and Lord Brahma appeared. All right. And then after a long time, after Krishna initiated him to create, and then Brahma starts creating. Okay. Now what happened next? Krishna also residing here in the milk ocean. Okay, if you imagine the egg, the bottom of the egg half filled with water, Karanadakasai Vishnu is Garbhodakasai Vishnu reclines there. Okay, almost at the top of the universe, Kshirodakasai Vishnu residing there with Mother Lakshmi. Shira means milk. He's on milk ocean. Okay, so as Paramatma, he enters all the living entities and resides in us as Super Soul. So that is Kshirodakasai Vishnu. So you remember causal ocean, Garbhodaka ocean, and milk ocean. So usually when there are problems, right, problem on earth, universe, so all the demigods will approach this Patkara Vishnu. Okay, this is also called Lord Narayan or Lord Mahavishnu. All right, Kshirodakasai Vishnu. Okay, so as Paramatma, he is residing in everybody's heart. Okay, you can see this picture also. So generally this, why I'm showing these 3 slides, because of Krishna is telling this. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. So that is just the first part of the sloka. So the second part of the sloka is, so after knowing this, what do the devotees do? 10.8 is very important here. Knowing the opulence, the devotees worship me with all their hearts. They engage in my devotional service and they worship me with all their hearts. How exactly devotees worship Krishna with all their hearts? Okay, how are we going to worship Krishna with our hearts? How do we give our heart to Krishna? So that will be explained in 10.9. Ajita Mataji. You can unmute. Are you able to, Mataji? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. Hare Krishna. Chatuh Shloki Gita 10.9. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji, clear.
Makshita prana bodhyayanta parasparam katyantascha mamityam tushanti cha ramanati cha. 10.9. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, no problem, Mataji. We're done. Okay. Okay, so here these symptoms of pure devotees are given here. Symptoms. Okay, what do? Basically, these devotees, their mind cannot be diverted from the lotus feet of Krishna. So the symptoms are given here. Their thinking, their mind always dwell in Krishna. And their lives are fully devoted to Krishna's service. That's 2. And then by enlightening one another, 3, and conversing about me, 4, they derive great satisfaction and bliss. By doing this, by their mind engaging on Krishna, when their limbs are engaged in performing devotional services, and they talk to each other about Krishna, they derive great satisfaction and bliss. So this is how they worship Krishna with all their hearts. This is how the devotees worship Krishna. So how exactly devotees worship Krishna? This part here. Performing devotional service, engage in Krishna's service. Prana means air, our life air. So that's how Krishna says, their life air is me. My devotees' life air is me. They can't think of anything else than Krishna. Their business is talk about Krishna, discuss about Krishna, enlighten each other, discuss the philosophies. So naturally, why? Because naturally they think Krishna is so wonderful. So they want to serve him, they want to serve such a wonderful personality. Okay. Why they discuss among the devotees? Because like you have clubs, right? You have clubs, MU clubs or Liverpool clubs, because you all have the common ideology, because you derive satisfaction discussing about something. So the satisfaction is so high when you discuss about Krishna among association of devotees. Like this, now we are discussing about Krishna. So we derive satisfaction and bliss. Of course, it's also purification. It also burns our sins. Okay, when we are fully focused in it. Okay, with great determination and detachment. We also have to do that as well. All right. So what happens here? That something is happening here. This is a seed, and then it starts to germinate, and then you started to have seedling, and then it started to grow into plant. So bhakti is also like this. Somebody has to plant the bhakti seed in us, and then we need to continuously do something for the seed to grow into a plant. Can anybody tell me what is that two things required to nourish and grow this plant? Two things. You can relate that into nine devotional service. Anybody, Mataji? How do we nourish?
Water.
Okay, so water, sunlight is what basically required for the seed plants, right? So how about the seed of bhakti? So somebody is and will plant bhakti seed in our heart. So how do we grow them into a nice bhakti plant? So now, yes, hearing one more. Two. After you hear, what do we do? Yes, correct, Mataji. Yes, naturally, after we hear, we have hearing, and then we have chanting. Sravanam, Kirtanam, and then only we can remember. Okay, so we have basically, what I'm trying to say is, we have to water the seeds of bhakti through regular chanting and hearing. So that's why the devotees are always happy doing chanting and hearing. Okay, so 10.10. So earlier we saw how Krishna's opulence, by knowing that the devotees worship Krishna with all their hearts. And then Krishna gives how devotees worship him. He provides the symptoms of the devotees and how they worship him. And then when the devotees give something, all right, naturally when you give something to your friend would like to give something back to you. So vice versa. So when devotees worship Krishna with all their hearts, enlightening one another, conversing about him, engage in devotional service, their thoughts fully dwelling on thoughts of Krishna. So what Krishna gives back? Krishna also reciprocates. Krishna reciprocates personally. So how does he reciprocate? Okay, so that will be in text 11. Kanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Tesham, Gita 10.11. Teshamevanu partam aham anyananyam tamaha nasayamyatma bhavastu jnanadipena bhavsvata. To show them special mercy, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So if you remember in our level 1, I mentioned that, okay, sometimes we think, oh, Krishna, I really cannot understand. This is too high level for me. But I would like to learn. I would like to learn about you. I want to love you. But I don't understand. Everything is so technical for me. And then we feel like, oh, it's so difficult, everything. So what Krishna does? Krishna gives the special mercy. What? In what form? Because Krishna is in our heart, isn't it? Because earlier already mentioned that Krishna resides in our hearts as Paramatma. So he knows what we want, what we are hankering for, what we are desiring. So he acts from within our heart and destroy this darkness that we have, right? The darkness born of ignorance. He destroy it with the shining lamp of knowledge. Okay, so we may have ignorance, which is darkness, and Krishna will remove the darkness. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, I think I missed this sloka. Sorry, Mataji. Apara Mataji, your turn. I missed it. Thank you, Ajita Mataji. sorry to engross in talking.
Thank you, Mataji. No problem. Chatuh Shloki Gita 10.10. Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam yupayanti te. To those who constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mataji. How come I missed you? I like your tune. All right. So we move on. 10.11. Oh, yeah, I skipped to Kanti Mataji. Aish. All right. So we are here just now. Special mercy. Okay, Krishna reciprocates by giving the special mercy. Okay, so that's how we categorize this for Chatuslokis. So a quick recap. Okay, so take a look here. Krishna is telling, I'm the source of everything. Knowing this, devotees engage in my devotional service. So this basically sums up all the opulence and the results of knowing this opulence, which the details of which later Krishna will give. All right. And then by knowing this, what do the devotees do? Their thoughts dwell in thinking of Krishna, enlighten, converse about him, all right, and they derive satisfaction and bliss. Okay, this is how devotees worship him. This is how worship with all their heart. This is how, all right. And then when you give something, your friend wants to give something back to you. So that is called reciprocation. So same goes to Krishna. He also wants to reciprocate, especially when he knows the devotee is asking for something. Krishna wants to learn about you. So I give them the understanding and then I shine the torch of knowledge into their heart. Remove the darkness. So when the darkness is removed, then Krishna takes care of us. All right. So that is the special mercy. Okay. Then we move to 12:13. Chandra Prabha Mataji.
Bhagavad Gita 10.12 to 13. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Parama Bhavan Purusham Saswadam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Prashya Sarve Devasat Narada Tatta Ashido Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Bravishime.
Okay.
Arjuna said, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages such as Narada, Asida, Devala, and Vyasa confirm this truth about you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this one I actually touched on this sloka a couple of chapters ago to show how not only Arjuna is talking about Krishna's greatness, but Arjuna is giving a statement where before this, great sages such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, they have spoken about your greatness. Okay, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Okay, so these are the various ways Arjuna glorifying Krishna. You are the ultimate abode. Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. Dhamma means abode. Purest, Pavitram, absolute truth. Param Brahma. Okay, you are eternal, transcendental, original, the unborn, the greatest, right? So we cannot, so people think that Arjuna is trying to flatter Krishna. So it is not flattery. Krishna is not flattering his friend. Of course, Krishna is Arjuna's friend. But other sages are also saying this, saying you are purest, eternal, transcendental. Not only you have said, I'm not hearing the first time from you, but I also heard from the sages above. But now, I mean, previously. So now I'm hearing it from you. Okay, so this confirms everything, your opulence. Okay, so for example, if you are building a house or buying a house, you would like to use something or go to a developer or want to buy some cement that is from a reliable manufacturer. All right, you will check a few times, you will check. Just to buy a simple gadget also, we want to check few things, reviews, what these people are saying, what these people are saying. Sometimes we go to the reviews who are, like influencers, right? Those who have done their homework. Yeah, so we want to rely on the reviews. So like this, you check and balance with so many things, and then you decide, oh, okay, this is the best. So like that, Arjuna is declaring that here. Okay, and then 14 to 17, just the translation. Indrani Mataji. Oh, Indrani Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Text 14. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Text 15. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own eternal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Text 17. O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you? And how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O Supreme Personality of Godhead? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so this is like a summary of Krishna's, Arjuna's asking question for Krishna to speak more. Give me in detail. Please tell me in detail. Okay, detail. Huh? You say man mana bhava mad bhakto. You want us to remember you. Being completely absorbed in me. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. This is what Krishna said in 934. So Arjuna was asking him, please tell me more. How can I think of you? How can I know you? What are the forms that I can remember you? Okay. 10.19. Oops. Anybody knows who is it? Okay, Jayanti Mataji. Jayamani Mataji. Oh, I think Mataji is not around. Hey, Mataji, are you around? Are you able to?
I am around, but as I think I mentioned to you, I won't be able to recite. But I don't mind trying. Actually, I'm not prepared at all.
You can
I
read,
can
Mataji.
try. I can read. Okay, but I remember texting you that I won't be able to.
Yeah, I forgot,
It's okay.
Mataji.
I will try. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'll try. Okay, just give me one second. Okay. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Antati Satya Shishiyani Divya Hayatma Vibhutaya Pratyayata Kuru Shrishta Nashti Anto Vishtarara Swami. The Supreme Personality of Godhead says, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestation, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjuna, for my opulences is limitless.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry for any inconvenience here. I forgot.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I hope I did it. I know I didn't do well, but I tried. Thank
No,
you.
no, no. That's good, Mataji. It's all right. Okay, the translation is important. Okay, so Arjuna has asked Krishna, how do I remember you? What forms? Okay, Krishna is saying, okay, I will tell you my splendorous manifestation, but remember what I'm going to give you is just those prominent ones, because I have limitless opulence, so I cannot be giving everything. So I'm going to give you the prominent one. So this is just like how you are away from your loved ones, and then when you see some things, it reminds you of them. So like that, when we are thinking we are away from Krishna, but when we see everywhere, if we are not able to grasp that spiritual form of Krishna in our heart, then what we do, we seek outside whatever that the physical manifestation that reminds us about Krishna. Then that is that opulence. That is the opulence that we want to meditate on, or when we see this, we want to think about Krishna. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay, so before going on to the detail of the opulences, I would like to show you that how in 3 different places Krishna said that he is the time. He said, and he repeated that he is the beginning, he is the middle, and he is the end. Okay, so 10.20, Krishna said, before anything else, he said this, I am the super soul. Okay, you have to remember that. He said, I am the super soul of Arjuna. I am seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and the end of all beings. So you remember this term here. Later I will compare this with something else. All beings. Beings means living, sentient beings, living things. All right. In 30, he says, among the Daitya demons, I am the devotee Prahlada. Among subduers, I am time. Subduers means destroyers. So, I am Kala. So here also he mentioned that he is time. Okay, another place is 32. Of all creations, if you see here he says, I am the beginning, middle, and the end of all beings. Then he says here, I'm the beginning, the middle, and the end of all creations. So that means he is not only the origin of the living beings, he is also the origin of entire creations. All right, this is the comparison I want to give it to you. Actually, in 33 also, Krishna said, I am also inexhaustible time. Why? Because among all the killers, time is the ultimate. If we are not killed by anything, time will kill us. Eventually, we all will die, isn't it? So that's why Krishna said, Kala, I am, time I am. So time is the representative of Krishna. Because in due course of time, there will be a great fire and everything will be annihilated. All right. So moving on to the, so this is the comparison differences. All right. Okay, now Krishna will describe how we may remember him when we view the greatest manifestation in this world. So first, this basically is compiled. There are so many verses, so we compile based on categories. So here Krishna is telling how he is the chief of various groups. All right. So this first group is Devatas, and then he says of the. Hold on. Okay, in 22, Krishna says, of all the devas, I am Indra, the king of heaven. And then there are 12 Adityas. So that these 12 Aditya, they are actually 12 deities of Vishnu. So among them, okay, there are like Surya, Aryaman, Twasta, Satvi, Bhaga, Data, Mitra, Varuna, Amsa, Pushan, Indra, and Vishnu in the form of Lord Vamana. So in that way, Krishna says, among the 12 Adityas, I am Vishnu, the greatest. All right. Of the Rudras, I am Shiva. There are 12 Rudras. All right, 12 or 11. Yeah, so he is Shiva. So similarly, the chief of his generals, because Krishna also has his battalion. So the general of his battalion, the best general of his battalion is Kartikeya, Lord Muruga. So Krishna saying, I am that Lord Kartikeya. So that means anything chief or greatest in certain groups, that is him. Okay, so when you see something great of certain groups, then you think that is Krishna. And then there are Vasus, there are 8 Vasus. So like 8 Vasus comprised of 5 Panchabhuta, right? The earth, fire, ether, that 5 as elements. And then there's 3 more, sun, moon and stars. So among these 8, Krishna say he's Agni, he's the fire. All right. And then the Daitya. Daityas means demons. Yeah. So among the Daitya demons, I'm the devoted Prahlada, because Prahlada comes in the lineage of demon. Okay. Next is dispenser of law. So what is the duty of Lord Yama? Lord Yama is, so there are many living entities who give punishment to the miscreants. Okay, so the chief among them is Yama. So Krishna says that he is Yama. All right. So just for additional info, what does Yama does? What does Yama do? After death, those who are very sinful are taken to the hellish planets, where Lord Yama arranges different kinds of punishments for them. Okay. Okay. Next is creators. So among the creators, of course, there are so many creators. Okay. And Krishna says, among the creators, I am Brahma. Okay. So he's the representative of Supreme Lord Krishna. Among the cause of procreation, I am Kandarpa. Okay. So Kandarpa is actually sex desire for begetting children, good children. All right. Therefore, Kandarpa is the representative of Krishna, which means, I mean, the difference we can make here is sometimes sex is engaged for only sense gratification. So what is the result for sex done for sense gratification? Miseries, abortions, destructions of family, when it is not based on regulation, unregulated. So if it is regulated, which means to beget children, then that is Kandarpa. So among the causes of procreation, Krishna is Kandarpa, or Kandarpa represents Krishna. Okay, am I all right now? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, maybe I'll talk slower. Okay, so we are done with Devas, all right? Next is nature. Okay, this is pretty straightforward. We already covered this in level 1. Among the lights, I am sun. Among the stars, I am moon. Among the mountain, I am Meru. Why Meru is good? It's very special because the Devas go here to enjoy. And this is also the mountain that they churn with the Vasuki to obtain nectar. Oh, now lagging, huh? Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Is the echo still there? Mataji? Hare Mataji? Oh dear. It just started, is it? Shall I go and come back? Oh, okay. Okay, I will speak slowly, okay? All right, thank you, Mataji. Okay, thanks, Mataji. Okay, just alert me, okay? Thanks, Mataji. Okay, among the immovables, Himalaya. So what is the difference? Meru is movable because they use that to churn, isn't it? All right. So among the immovables, Krishna says he's Himalaya. Of course, among the bodies of water, he's ocean. That's the biggest. Among the trees, I am Banyan. So these are all the chiefs of all these group of living entities. Among the rivers, I am Ganga. Among the months, I'm Margasira. Among the seasons, I am the flower-bearing spring. Okay, so these are all provided in your chapter 10, so you can read. It's very nice. When you read it, it's very nice, you know, the description. And you want more explanation, also you can refer to Prabhupada's purport. So some explanations are there. Next, sages. This is also revision. Okay, so of all sages, I am Vyasa. So among the Munis or learned men conversant in Vedic knowledge, Vyasa is the greatest because he is the compiler of the Vedas. So he explained the Vedic knowledge in many different ways for the understanding of common mass of people. Okay, in this age of Kali. And of course, Vyasadeva is also known as the literary incarnation of Krishna. So therefore, he represents Krishna. And among the great sages, Krishna says he is Bhrigu. So how Bhrigu comes in the picture? Brahma is the first living creature, right? When Brahma appears, he created several sons for the propagation of various kind of species for procreation. So one of these sons is Bhrigu. So and he's a very powerful sage. Okay, sages among the sages among demigods, I am Narada. So Narada comprises of two words, Nara and Da. Nara means mankind or spiritual. Da means giving. So this Narada Muni, he is able to travel in space, and he has disciples all over the universe. And what does he do? He gives God to everyone. So if you remember, the spiritual master of Vyasadeva is Narada Muni. Narada Muni instructed Vyasadeva to write Bhagavatam. Okay, so among the sages, among demigods, Krishna is Narada. Okay, priests, among the priests, I am Brihaspati. Okay, who is Brihaspati? Brihaspati is the guru of the demigods. Okay, which verse is this? Verse 24. O priest of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief Brihaspati. Okay. If you remember, Brihaspati came in our story last week where Lord Indra offended Brihaspati. If you remember the story, so that will be the cause for the appearance of Vritrasura, the demon, the devotee demon. Okay, among the perfected beings, I am Kapila. So you can find the whole teaching of Kapila Muni giving answers to his mother, his own mother, Devahuti. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3. So Kapila Muni, for your info, he's one of the 12 leading authorities in the Vedic tradition. So what kind of knowledge he was giving? It is called Sankhya Yoga. It is a system of metaphysics and spiritual knowledge. Difference of spirit and matter. So basically, it's a very important part of Indian philosophical heritage. So the personality who gave this knowledge is Kapila. So therefore, he's the most perfect of the perfected beings, the best of the perfected beings. Okay, next is among the great thinkers, I am Sukracharya. But you will find the word Usana in the text 37. And among great thinkers, I am Usana. So Sukracharya is another name. Okay. So the word is used here is great thinkers. So thinkers in Bhagavad Gita, the word used is kavi. Kavis are those who are capable of thinking thoroughly on any subject matter. Among the kavis, Usana, Sukracharya was the spiritual master of the demons. He was an extremely intelligent and far-seeing politician. Thus, Sukracharya is another representative of opulence of Krishna. So these are the Krishna saying he's the greatest of all these sages. So among the sages, we have so many categories. There are priests, there are perfected beings, there are great thinkers, there are sage among demigods, there are sages, and there's a literary incarnation of Vyasadeva. All right, so different sages, those who give knowledge. Okay, animals also interesting. We can. Okay, you can also read this in Bhagavad Gita. So what happens here? Can you see this picture? This is Mount Meru. One side is the demon, one side is the demigods, and they're using the serpent Vasuki to churn. And when they churn, before they get the nectar, a lot of things came out from that churning process. One of it is the horse. called Uchaisrava. Okay, hold on. I need to... Okay, Uchaisrava. The next animal that came was elephant, the lordly elephant, the lord of the elephant, Airavat. Whose transport is this Airavata? Anybody knows? Who rides this elephant? Indra. Yes, Mataji. Okay, Airavata. Okay. Next is cows. Among the cows, I am Surabhi. Okay, so in spiritual world, we have cows that gives unlimited milk. So they are called Surabhis. Krishna continues, among the serpents, I am Vasuki. Among the many hooded nagas, I am Ananta. Okay, what is the difference? Serpent and Vasuki, serpent and many hooded nagas. Anybody knows? What is the difference between serpent and nagas? Both also snake, isn't it? Serpents means one hooded. Nagas are many hooded. Alright, so Ananta Sesh means the Sesha Naga that Lord Vishnu reclines on, that is Ananta Sesh. It is said that Ananta Sesh has millions of heads or unlimited heads, and all the tongues of that serpent, the Nagas are talking, glorifying the Lord, and it's never ending. So much of glorification is unlimited. Okay, moving on. Of fishes, I am shark. So of all the aquatics, shark is one of the biggest and is certainly the most dangerous to man. Thus the shark represents Krishna. Among beasts, I am the lion. Among birds, I am Garuda. So this in the same sloka, 30. Of the many animals, lion is the most powerful and ferocious. And of the millions of birds, Garuda, the bearer of Vishnu, is the greatest. So we have all the animal kingdom here. So Krishna says he is the chief of each group. All listed, only Indra is positioned. Don't understand, Mataji? Indra is a position, yes. Okay. Okay, we move on to philosophical truths. Oops, okay, I'm blocking here. Okay, these are the senses. Okay, behind here is sense. Position. All the demigods, basically, they are positions, Mataji. Anybody can become demigods, actually. Okay. All right, senses. Among the senses, I am mind, because mind is the most difficult to control. So that's why it is considered as the greatest sense. Okay, so mind is a supreme among the senses. Okay, so, and then here, living entities in the heart. How many living entities are there in the heart? Matajis? 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 Anybody there? Who are residing in our hearts? Two, right? One is spirit. Two. One is spirit soul. Another one is super soul. Yes, correct. So among that living entities in the heart, Krishna says he is the super soul. And then among of poetry, I am Gayatri. So basically in Sanskrit, there are definite rules, right? There are rules that it regulates poetry, rhyme, and meter. They are not written whimsically. Okay, because everything has reason, everything has a potency, vibrations. Among the regulated poetry, Gayatri mantra is the best, and they are not whimsically chanted by anybody. It has to be received by a qualified person from a proper guru, right? So that is the most prominent mantra. So Krishna says, I am that Gayatri. Of course, among the letters, I am A, because it's the beginning of everything. Okay, it's the beginning of Vedic literature, it's beginning of everything. Without A, nothing can be sounded. Therefore, it is the beginning of the sound. Okay, this compound word is here. This is actually some grammatical, some technical aspects of in Sanskrit. So Krishna says, among the compound words, I am the dual compound. All right. Among the science, among so many types of sciences, I am the spiritual science of self. Okay. The explanation given is that for advanced education, there are various kinds of books of knowledge, such as the 4 Vedas. There are 6 supplements, the Vedanta Sutra, books of logic, books of religiosity, and the Puranas. So all together, there are 14 divisions of books of education. Okay, so these are all the sciences. Of these, the book which presents Adhyatma Vidya. Okay, Adhyatma Vidya is actually the spiritual knowledge. In particular, it is referred to as Vedanta Sutra, and that knowledge, that spiritual science of self represents Krishna. Okay, so logicians. Among logicians, I am conclusive truth. So this is an interesting part where in all our logics, there are three processes involved in how we come to a conclusion. One is called Vada. So the word used in Bhagavad Gita is Vada. Vada means the natural conclusion. You just have to simply present the truth and it will be accepted as truth. So the other two is Pravadatam, means arguments. You argue and make something that this is the right one. This is the truth. You argue. All right. Another one is, there's another one which is also not, I think it's Vitanga, means you ridicule the person, you condemn the person, you insult the person. So these two, the second one, Pravadatam, and another one, these are not the appropriate way of arriving into a conclusion. So Krishna says, I am the Vada, I'm the natural conclusion. That's what he's saying, right? And then finally, among the Sama Veda hymns, I am Brihat Sama. So Sama Veda is one of the 4 Vedas. So this Sama Veda comprises of many beautiful hymns and songs given by Devas for many reasons. Okay, among these many songs, there's one melody is called Brihat Sama. It has exquisite melody and sung at night. So Krishna said, among all the songs in the Sama Veda, I am the Brihat Sama. So he's saying that he is that category, that beautiful song. All right. So here, mind, among the senses, I am the mind. Among the living entities in the heart, I am the super soul. I am the and this is dual compound words. All right. Next is Vedic mantras. Among the Vedic mantras, okay, these are the 3 categories. Among the vibration, I am the transcendental Om. Okay. This is the beginning of the creation. Of all the transcendental vibration, Omkara represents Krishna. Next is sacrifices. Among all the sacrifices, I am the chanting of holy name. Yajnanam japa yajno. It's me. Okay. Vedas. Among the Vedas, I am Samaveda. So this is what Krishna said. Among the 4 Vedas, for some reason, he said he is Samaveda. And this is what we saw here. In the Samaveda hymns, he is Brihat Sama. Okay. So this is Om. This is Veda, Samaveda. And among the sacrifices, the best is Japasmi, Japa Yajnosmi. And I am that Japa. Okay. Okay, we are coming to the end already, I think. Okay, so this is the revision. This topic is opulence, isn't it? Opulence, Krishna's, the opulence of the absolute. Means Bhagavan means one who possesses opulence in full. So can you put in the chat box in one go all the 6 opulences that you know about Krishna? Everybody, please try. Please try. We have done this so many times. Please see whether you can remember. I give like a minute. for you all to do that? Okay, looks like coming. Knowledge, beauty. Knowledge repeated twice, Mataji. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Anybody else? So basically the answer is given already. Okay, wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. So we go one by one. Beauty. Okay. So basically we are easily attracted to someone or something that is beautiful, like celebrities or actors. But Krishna's beauty is unparalleled. Okay. Not only humans, in spiritual world, not only humans are attracted to Krishna's beauty. Plants and trees and animals also. Okay, even the peacock is attracted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, correct, Mataji. So it is mentioned that when Krishna goes for cow herding and when he comes back, so all the trees in the village will bend and turn towards the forest where Krishna will be coming. So you can imagine the trees will bend and look forward for Krishna's return. All of them will be alive. They are alive, and then they will wait for Krishna to come. All right. So that Krishna is that beautiful. So everyone is attracted to Krishna until today. So even though he's black in complexion, there's so many songs glorifying Krishna in that complexion, in that form, in that beauty. Okay, next is strength. So you can see Krishna was barely 7 years old and he was lifting Govardhan hill with his left pinky finger. All right, so he did not become God at 5 years old or 7 years old or 10 years old. He has been God ever since he was born. Like the moment he was born, he killed Putana, and then at this young age, he carried Govardhan hill. So he doesn't have to do any sadhana or penances or meditation and get boon from somebody, to become strong or whatsoever. So his strength is something that is in Krishna in full. Okay, not part of it, little bit. Okay, next. Fame. Krishna is so famous. Okay, when we talk about Krishna's fame, we are not talking about this earth, only at earthly planet. All right. Okay, this is a picture from Mayapur where so many people from all around the world have gathered for festival. So Krishna does not only belong to Indians. There are Russians and Americans and Chinese, Taiwan, Thailand, so many countries. All right. So, but Krishna is also beyond this. Like Arjuna mentioned earlier, all the sages, all the Devas confirm that Krishna is the supreme Lord Brahma. So they are all not from these earthly planets. They are from beyond these planets. So like that, Krishna is so famous. Okay. So that's how it described about Krishna's fame. Okay. Next is wealth. All right. Again, this is the picture where Narada Muni came to see Krishna. Krishna has 16,108 palaces. So that is also one wealth. Okay. And then the palaces are made of exquisite marble, jewels, ivory. And it is said there was no need of light. The light is coming from the effulgence of the jewels. Okay, and of course we all know who is the consort of Krishna, Lakshmi, and he is the goddess of wealth, and the goddess of wealth is serving the lotus feet of Vishnu. So that explains his supreme position when it comes to wealth category, appearance, wealth. And then next, knowledge. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita. This knowledge is given by Krishna himself. So when we can give this knowledge, only when we have the knowledge. So Krishna cannot give something that he doesn't have full understanding of something, isn't it? That's why in so many places throughout the Bhagavad Gita, he'll say, listen again, I'm giving again. I'm going to tell more and more and more like that. Hear carefully again, like this. He used this kind of words. So that means he repeats certain things and he reinforces that, and he reinstates certain things, all right, to reinforce our understanding. He repeats, and then he gives very simple, he categorizes it, he gives the symptoms, like that, item by item. Okay. And finally, renunciation. He may be a king, he may be the lord of all the planets and universe, demigods and everything, but he was willing to become the charioteer of Arjuna. So this is the opulence that he has when it comes to renunciation. So he is opulent in renunciation. Okay. So we all have opulences, right? At one point of time, we want to renounce. We can do, but we cannot fully renounce. But Krishna can do that. And usually these opulences that we have, we are actually attached to it. Okay, but with all these opulences, Krishna is not attached to any of these things. Okay, yeah. So despite of having all this, he became a driver. And you know how the charioteer works, the chariot driving works, right? The driver and the passenger, they are actually very far, all right? And Arjuna is busy shooting his arrows, all right? And Krishna is seated near the legs, the feet of Arjuna. So if Arjuna were to tell Krishna to go left, right, straight, stop, the battlefield was very noisy, so it definitely cannot speak to Krishna. Is definitely not audible, and Arjuna cannot use his hand to tap left or right. So if you want to know how Arjuna actually directed Krishna to turn his chariot here and there, he used his leg. So if he wants to turn to right, he will use the leg to tap on Krishna's shoulder to right, and then he will use left leg to tap on Krishna's left shoulder to turn to left. So like this, Arjuna was giving that kind of direction to Krishna. So you can see what kind of position Krishna has taken to serve his devotee and friend. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's about it. Another fame is Krishna's book. You can see how many languages the Bhagavad Gita has been translated to. So that is also speaks about his fame. Okay, so the conclusion here is, after all these opulences is presented, okay, so basically Krishna has listed various objects or groups of living entities and states that he is their essence or the chief member of each group. But despite giving all this list of opulences, Krishna said, "O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences, just a tiny bit of my entire opulences." That also Krishna used infinite. And then he says, "No, please know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor," just from a tiny spark of my entire splendor. With that, I maintain the entire universe. Krishna goes on to say this. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this little knowledge, detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. So with that, Krishna ended chapter 10, opulence of the absolute. So the objective of knowing this opulence of the absolute is to increase our devotion. So we can see Krishna in various physical manifestations outside us. So this is to help those who are not able to think of Krishna in his spiritual form. So they can look at these physical appearances, these material manifestations, and think of Krishna. So basically that is what Krishna wants us to do in chapter 9. Think of me, absorb in me. Okay. So that's about it, Matajis. Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam available. Gita Kit is also available. Okay. Anybody wants to see any of the slides? Okay, so I'll stop sharing now. Thank you, Matajis. Any questions? I hope Ekadasi is going well for all of you.
Thank you, Mataji. 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 Thank you, M
Yes, Mataji. Krishna has taken that position to do that. It has to be done. It has to be done. Yeah. Okay, Mataji, any questions? If no questions, then we can call it a night. All right. Thank you, Mataji. I stop recording.